Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the stream. Happy to have you all here. I am glad to have made it to the stream tonight. Had quite the eventful evening, but glad to be with you guys now, and glad to be ready to stream, ready to get some work done. All of the above, really. But before we get any work done, I do have a couple of things to show you guys. We've got one mail call, and then we've also got a couple other really special things to talk about as well. But we'll start with the mail call here. We'll just get this open. This will be an interesting unboxing. These came from a guy that does 3D printing and has like a Facebook page. He does it all himself, but I was searching high and low for this particular model, and he was able to print it for me, so I'm excited to see how they turned out. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, cool. So the wheels are separate. Oh, and he gives you styrene for the axles. Okay. So these are a vehicle that's near and dear to my heart. And I can't give away too much now because it has to do with the T-Track modules. You'll see here that I actually bought 4 of this particular vehicle. I bought 2 in HO and then 2 in N scale, of course being for the Fremo module, or for the T-Track module. But this is okay, interesting. Okay, these look to be filament printed. I had assumed he was resin printing these. Well, anyway, these are actually 1978 F250 Super Cabs, and I can't really get into too much detail about why they're near and dear to me without ruining the T-Track build series, so I won't go any further than that. But it does look like these, you know, have some relatively decent thought behind them, which is pretty cool. A little bit of work to do, of course, with getting the windows in. I'm guessing because these are, I think they're filament printed. I don't know. Maybe it is resin. I don't know. I can't tell if I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the print lines in there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the detail level in it, and you know, hopefully we'll give them an ISO bath, and maybe hopefully they'll paint up okay, and you won't see the resin lines. We'll see, I guess. Do a good layer of primer on them, maybe a second coat of primer or something, and maybe it'll look a little bit better. But yeah, I'm excited to have these. Let's just quickly. I'd like to see what the N scale version looks like. The HO scale one's going to be a gift, and then one will go on the main layout too, of course. But man, yeah, this. I mean, the N scale version's already got the wheels on, which is cool. Wow. That is. Yeah, that's really an incredible amount of detail. I can't believe those. I cannot believe those mirrors are as you know, well done as they are in that fine a scale. Cool. Well, that's exciting. You know, yet another project that will need to get done here soon. So we'll have to get cracking on that as soon as we've got these locomotive projects off the workbench. You know, I think T-Track kind of lends itself pretty well to being like a Talkin trains sort of project, because everything will fit right here on on the workbench. So I think that's kind of gonna be the plan, is to use it for that. So yeah, other than it looking like maybe being a resin print instead of a filament print instead of a resin print, I'm pretty happy with these. I think even if it is a filament print, that I should be able to make this work. So that's exciting for sure. But anyway, yeah, happy first day of fall. Let me see who's out there. Let's talk to some people here. Let me get these put back away someplace safe so that I don't lose anything. Maybe. So the next challenge with these trucks is going to be finding the right color paint to paint them. Because I am trying to replicate a specific truck, but we'll see. Let's see. Let's see who's out here. Let me say hi to everybody real quick. Looks like Adam was here early, Scott was here early, Garrett was here, John was here. Dennis is here. Welcome in to you, my friend. Rick's here. Steve's here. Let's see. Banu's here. Welcome in. Montana Northern's here. Welcome in. BN Ironwood's here. Welcome in. Adam, I think you had mentioned about looking for a specific vehicle out there. This guy that I went through is, what's the name of the company? He's only on Facebook. He's got like a Facebook page called Dark Wolf 3D Models. But he's got a good assortment of vehicles available there. So you might be able to find what you want. Okay, so a couple other things I want to show you guys. I got to go grab one off the layout here real quick just because I forgot to grab it beforehand. You guys might have seen on Facebook, Mason Dixon's here, House of Randoms here. Welcome in, guys. But you guys might have seen on Facebook, but I got paid a visit by Mr. Joey B of Late Night Hobbies, and he came bearing some incredible gifts. The first of which is this amazing Salt City covered hopper to add to my salt fleet with his local graffiti artists tag on it, which, you know, there's certainly some irony laced in there, being that his line is the Salt City Railroad, and it says Pepper on the side of the car, which is absolutely fantastic. Dark Wolf Models, Banu is the name of the company. I'll put the tag back up here real quick. Dark Wolf 3D Models. Yeah, so I was, you know, of course impressed with the covered hopper, but Joey is such an incredibly generous guy that, of course, that's not the only thing that he brought me. And the next thing that he brought me, I knew was coming, but it still blew me away. This is an incredibly awesome structure that I needed for the layout. And it's so big I can't even fit it all the way on screen. But this is a structure that I assisted Joey very, very briefly with getting pictures of. But this is the old Pensy freight house. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having trouble getting this whole thing on camera. There are pictures posted of this, so you can go check those out on YouTube. I made a community post of it yesterday. But this is the old Pensy freight house that's in Penn Yan, New York. A couple of months ago, I went out with Joey and Just took some reference photos for him with my drone, so that he could get the aerial views of this structure and the rest of the structure. And you know, in order to thank me, he built me one of these things, which is, you know, the level of effort I put into this compared to the level of effort he put into this does not feel equal to me. I feel like I still owe Joey a lot, because this structure is just absolutely phenomenal. I am so impressed with it, but it's going to have a nice home in the Penn Yan area of my layout for years to come, and I am looking forward to having it because it is just an absolutely phenomenal structure. I'll be sure to get some good photos of this here soon, but funny enough, with this now on hand, it's really motivated me to continue the work that I need to do here in Penn Yan to get things to look nice, but also kind of rework a couple of things as well. So that progress, I'm sure, will be coming up. Yeah, Britt rode out with me the day that we went out to measure it, Joey and I, and of course it's funny, I went out there to help him and you know, take the drone reference photos, and I of course forgot my drone controller, so I had to go back out another time. Thankfully I was on my way out to the Syracuse area anyway, for actually that was the Optilia drop weekend. So I was already kind of headed that way, so it wasn't super far out of my way to stop in Penn Yan and take those photos for him. But yes, it was truly special to have him offer to give me a copy of that building, because man, is it spectacular. So one other thing I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about before we get into the build itself is 1703. 1703 is the Finger Lakes locomotive that I'm working on. We've worked on it a couple of times on stream. I finally have my new paint booth set up and vented. I only mildly concussed myself in the process of setting it up, but it's now set up. It's properly vented through a nice dryer vent out to the outside. So I've got a nice permanent setup. And today I did some test painting with some Vallejo colors, and I wasn't sure which of these Vallejo blacks I wanted to use. You can see one of them is Vallejo Primer, and then the other one is Model Air. So the one on the left here is the primer. It's just now getting dry. I just sprayed this like not even like 15 minutes ago. But I think they look relatively similar, so I'm still not sure which of these blacks I'm going to use. I am very happy with how both look color-wise. I've had weird issues with Vallejo in the past. I had a black in the past that kind of came out looking almost green, so I was really nervous about that, but these look to be pretty good. I'll be comfortable using either of these on 1703. Because they're acrylics, they do have a matte finish, so they'll be finished off with a gloss coat before I do any decal work. But I'm happy with both of those, and we'll be able to get into, hopefully maybe next week we'll be able to work on 1703 on the live stream. We'll see though. Anyway, though, tonight's project is a different one. We are, of course, doing some work on these awesome Bowser M636s. We're gonna get some decaling done on them. Looks like I still have a little bit of cleanup to do from the first night of our work. I had ended up maybe rushing things a little bit and not realizing that there's still a little bit of residue on these, so let's see if we can get that cleaned off here first, and then we can kind of go from there. Just wet down a makeup sponge with some water, and hopefully this is going to be enough to help clean it up. If not, I can take them upstairs and rinse them, but I'd rather avoid doing that. I left these things a huge mess. Holy guacamole. Wow. Yikes. I haven't touched these since the last time we worked on them on stream, which was, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So I guess I should have made sure to get them cleaned up a little bit better before now. No matter. It all cleans up nicely. Just a little bit of water. Just a little bit of residue from the microsol left on it, and that's all it is. Hey John, welcome in. BN Ironwood, I don't have a paint shaker. It's yeah, not something I have. I usually just hand shake them and everything. I've always actually heard, and maybe I'm incorrect, but I've always heard that you could actually overshake paint, and that you didn't want to shake them too much. Maybe that's not accurate, but okay. Looks like that's all cleaned up. Hey, Matt's here. Welcome in. Smell test on paints, yeah. I'm sure that works, kinda. Okay, so there is still actually one area where I need to remove decals, and that's on the number boards. I'm not sure. I probably should work on that first. I don't really want to work on that first, but I probably should. Or at least get it, get them soaking while I work on the rest of the locomotive. Yeah, Vallejo definitely does separate pretty easily. I always have to shake them when I'm in the store to make sure that it's really a shade that I want. Let's see, I want my microsol here. Ooh, that is very, very light. There's not much in there. Yikes. How those are mounted up in there, but probably going to be too difficult to pull the board out to do this, so. Yeah, Matt, that's awesome that you chased H06. I saw that you messaged me that, but I was trying to get ready for the stream. Sorry I didn't respond. It's pretty cool, though. Looking forward to seeing him. An ADHD distraction journey. I hope it was a fun one, Dennis. hopefully these will come off relatively easily. We shall see. Oh, come on, you jerk. In the meantime, though, I should be able to get away with starting in on re-decaling everything else. Okay. Put that away. Make sure I put the top back on my microsol so that I don't spill it, because that would be a bummer if I did. And let me pull up some prototype reference photos. Let's see. I need. So we'll work on 41 first, I think. And it looks like, thankfully, everything's relatively straightforward as far as what we need to do. Oh, that's fun. I didn't know that there was... Oh, that's... Okay, that's good. That can stay on this one at least. I didn't know that they had the number on the front of this thing. So that would have been a pain in the neck. 85 on the other hand, that's a whole nother decal I've got to get pulled off of there. Or at least the 3. Uh-oh, Garrett. We got a problem, my friend. Well, actually, maybe it's not. Maybe I should look up the photo. 85 on the set does not have the small sill numbers. Let's see, though. It might. Maybe the real thing doesn't have it. Yep, don't see it on the real thing. Of course, Garrett's prepared. Yeah, I don't, well, let me just double check. Let me see. It's hard to find. They renumbered 85 into 685 really quickly after buying it. So there's not as many reference photos of it. Yeah, you're in the clear, Garrett. I don't know if that was a happy accident or not, but 85 doesn't have that little sill number on it, so yeah. Phew. Yeah, both of these are kind of funky because 41 is not going to have a plow at all. And then I'm waiting on Alex to get me the correct plow for 85. So, yeah, so let me get just a little bit of microsol on this. And then hopefully we can keep on trucking. Hello, Mr. Man of Many Names. Welcome into the stream. I suppose we'll just call you Illinois Midland here. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, good, Garrett. I don't know why I would have even thought to second guess you. Should have just had faith in you. Okay, let's see if we can just get an initial eraser on these number boards. Whoops. Come on. Sure is a shame that somewhere along the lines this thing got white number boards. This would have been such an easy locomotive to redo had it kept the Cartier number boards all the way through. Saw that you and Rick and Brian had a good time down there at the Mid-Atlantic RPM. Looked like a lot of fun. I, however, was not jealous because I was having a whole lot of fun myself up at the Northeast Regional Convention. And already really looking forward to going back next year for sure. As I think I've mentioned on this channel before, once you kind of get one eraser scrubbing in on these sorts of pad printing, usually that second round goes really quick. So. Okay, let me go back to the picture I had up of 41 here, and then, oops, good thing I put the cover on that. We should be good to kind of just get going on this. Maybe. All right, I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit here. Hopefully that's gonna be sufficient. Nice. Okay, now we've got to play the game of what did Paul do with his X-Acto knife again. I had it when I opened that box. Oh, I put it back where it belongs. Perfect. Oh, I'm sure that was a whole lot of fun, Chris. Okay, so let's see here. I need, you know what I do need to do? Hang on. Come on. What I need to do is cheat it so my phone doesn't go dead on me while I'm looking at these pictures. Ooh, my stomach is grumbly. All right, so let me see. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, got it. This is going to be interesting to weather this thing, I'll tell you that much. So many just like funky little spots on it. All right, so I'm going to start with the numbers below the windows. probably likely get the, yeah, I can get the long hood stuff done as well. Maybe. There we go. Now I finally got it clean. Okay, so that'll involve doing the RRPX numbers on the radiator fans. Yeah, these are going to be quite interesting to try to weather. I might have some fun here. Yep, I've never been one to complain about Western New York traffic, that's for sure. Just kidding. When I'm leaving work on a night where I've got to be somewhere else, it never fails. There's backup on 490 in Rochester. I'm going to zoom you guys out just a little bit because I keep accidentally working off frame a little bit. Okay, let's get some decals on. Okay, pretty happy with that. Okay. Anything else need to go on this side? Oops. It'd help if I was looking at a picture of the right side of it. Looks like we're good there. Oh, interesting. At some point, this did get yellow reflective stripes too, instead of these white ones. Oy vey. That adds a lot more work to this thing. I wonder when it got those actually. Yeah, looks like it had it for most of its Winnie P tenure. Oh, alright. That's a bit of a pain in the neck. Because it looks like these are, I mean, they're definitely pad printed on, so I can get them off. It's just, you know, adds time to the project for sure. The logo on the far side has a USB port on top? Where am I? What's got the... What are you guys seeing? Oh! The exhaust stack looks like a Type-C. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? That's funny. No repairs in Reading. I do not have a big boy. That's funny. It does actually look like, yeah, now that you've pointed that out, I can't unsee it. That's really funny. Huh. Nice. All right, so let's hit these number boards again one more time. See what we can do here. Feeling like these number boards might take a bit, unfortunately. Well, actually, Dennis, you were close, but no cigar. Because these are Canadian built. So, kind of a trick question. So these are M636s, built for Cartier. I would consider you close enough. But there are certainly others out there who would very quickly correct you. Okay, get the nose logo on here. Right, happy with that placement, I think. Hey Tim, I haven't seen you pop in before, but welcome. Well, hadn't seen you pop in tonight, I should say. Love Montreal. I've never been up to that part of Canada, but I don't know, maybe. Maybe I'd go. Seems interesting enough up there. Pretty good. Get the RRPX on this side, and then basically just focusing on the back after this. Cool. Yeah, I've heard good things about the scenery up there, Banu. I just not being a native French speaker, I'd assume there's at least some English speaking going on up there, but I know that they're primarily French speaking. Let's see if we can get away with being a little more aggressive on these. Yep, we can. Beautiful. I'm usually not quite as stressed with the number boards about making sure that they come off clean, because I'm just going right back over it. So if I can fast forward the process a little bit, I usually take the opportunity to do so. Unfortunately, the gasket texture, which is usually black, did come off with the eraser, which I don't love, but oh well. Darren's here, welcome in. Ward, welcome in. Ted, welcome in. Happy to see you all. It's a good problem to have, Ward, you know, having options to stream. Okay. So adjust this. I think that nose logo needs to get adjusted just a little bit. Reanimated a little bit. Wow, that is already on there for some reason. Sorry guys, I do not have this camera at a favorable angle. I moved it over to the other side of the, for last week's stream, on the layout, and apparently however I set it back up, just not a friendly angle for me being able to see what I'm working on and also show you guys. I'll have to fidget with that a little bit. Good with it there. Okay, so let's get the rear of this done. Repairs and Reading. This is these are both Bowser locomotives. Yeah, they are pretty hard to find. My buddy Alex stumbled into these ones kind of by luck. I think he bought them. I think these two were on a Facebook listing, a Facebook Marketplace listing locally to him, is how he got these, but I'm not sure. All right, let's see if this is going to come off. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. And how about you? 83. Excellent. Yeah, it's definitely the Cartier and the Cartier ones and the Western New York, Pennsylvania ones are really hard to find. Hence the reason the Western New York and Pennsylvania ones are even more hard to find than the Cartier ones. Hence the reason we are working on retrofitting a pair of Cartier ones to be Winnie P units. Yeah, Darren, these are for my buddy Alex. I don't take on a lot of work for other people. In fact, most of the time I tell people no. But Alex has been a friend of mine for a very, very long time, and I've been working on his locomotives for a very, very long time, so I don't say no to Alex. Which makes me a little hypocritical because there are also other very close friends that I still say no to. But yeah. This one actually, in particular, I made sure to say yes to because I also wanted to promote Garrett. Garrett has Arco decals, as we've talked about at length on this program. But he's the one who designed these decals, so it was a way to get some stuff done for Alex and also promote Arco decals for Garrett. So it was kind of a win-win, so I had to say yes to it. Okay, let me get the back number boards on, and then I need to find a long hood end photo of this thing just to make sure I do it right. Hopefully I can find one. Man, I don't know if my stomach gurgling is coming through the microphone tonight. If it is, I apologize, because holy cow. This is proving hard to find. I'm guessing that there's an RRPX logo on the back of it somewhere. Maybe Garrett can confirm. Or maybe he's got reference photos. Oh, nope, that's not it. Dang it. I might have to go onto the World Wide Web. See if I can get a picture on there. No logo on the back. Okay, awesome. Hey John, welcome in. Welcome to you as well, Paul and Verona Division. You two are, of course, very useful references to all this Winnie P stuff, so I appreciate you having you here tonight for sure. I'm still going to try to find a photo of the back just to make sure I put the numbers in the right place. So let me see what I can find here. There is just about nothing on Railroad Picture Archives, of course. And I can't even get like a partial rear end view. Oh, here we go. Jackpot. All right. Oh, interesting. The light housing is also black on it. Huh. So, oh, that's, oh. Yet another different spotting feature. Must have been redone at some point. That's really annoying. So that's the housing that's on it, and that's what's on the model. So at this point, I think I had this conversation with Alex. You know, I'm happy to do a lot of the decal work. I'm happy to give it a prototype weathering, but some of this detail stuff is just going to take a little bit too long for me to do. So hopefully he's okay with this amount of you know, detail. Most of the time he's not a huge rivet counter, so if he does want that level of detail, maybe they can circle back to my workbench at some point in the future when I've got more time. But right now, I'm grateful to have the time to work on these adult right now. All right, so let me get these rear numbers on now that I know where they go. Well, kind of know where they go. That seems to be about right there. Sure I get these right. You know what, I'm just gonna zoom you guys back out. I apologize that I've been off frame working all night. Hopefully, maybe this will be good enough. I'm still working off frame. Ay, ay, ay. This is kind of the most nitpicky part, though. So I want to make sure I get it right. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Bowser does have a penchant for making the unusual, don't they? All right, I'm gonna try, I apologize if anybody's got motion sickness. I'm gonna try to slightly adjust this camera so that hopefully I stop cutting things off of the view here. There we go. All right. Maybe? That's better. Hey Ray, welcome in. Hope you're having fun there in Albany. Okay, I think I'm happy with all the decals on 41. Let's dive into getting the decals onto 85. Oh good, Garrett sent me some hopefully very useful reference photos. Excellent. All right. Wow, not much in the way of 85 though. Let me see if I can just find some other photos of it here. Like I said, 85 was kind of a, yeah, this is the same one he sent me, but I can make it work. Thanks, Verona, for letting me know that. Appreciate it. That's awesome, Ray. Very cool. Oh, well, everybody else has already kind of seen this, but I know I had talked to you about this. You know the full details of this. Everybody else does not, but I have an N-scale acquisition myself here. This is a 3D printed N-scale 1978 F-250 Super Cab, which, like I mentioned, is somewhat significant to me, sentimentally. But if you want to find out why that is, you'll have to stay tuned to hopefully the next video I do on the T-Track modules for Upload Express modelers. We'll see. I found a place I can get the right color paint that is supposed to match the OEM color. But it's actually for the one-to-one pickup. So I need to figure out, it says that it's just a small thing of paint, like, basically the size of a Tamiya container is all that's in there. And it's just for touch-up, but it says that it'll go through a commercial air sprayer, but that does not mean it's gonna go through a small hobby one. So I'm gonna have to figure out if I can do that. Yeah, Ted, that was from Billy Stewart. So yeah, thank you very much for that recommendation. Ted is who recommended Billy to me. So everything worked out well. I've got 2 of them in HO, and then I've got 2 of them in N-scale as well for the T-Track module. One's going to be one of the HO ones will be a gift, and then I kind of just bought 2 N scale ones in case I goof something up. Bronco came down to say hi. I can't move the camera to say hi to him tonight for everybody, but you guys will just have to take my word for it that he came down to say hello to everybody. Last week was perfect that that I had the camera at an angle while I was working on the main layout. That Belle came down to say hi and everybody got to see her. But well, Ray, you can do whatever sort of content you want about them, but you know, up to you. I don't know why I just carved out the other 85. I don't need it yet. Time for me to dabble in Z-scale? No, I don't think so, Mr. Man of Many Names. Oh, Willow Creek, welcome in. Glad to see you. Almost missed you there, but super appreciate everybody being out there tonight. It looks like we've got quite the crowd, so appreciate y'all being here. Awesome, Ray. Yeah, you gotta be posting something about these things. If a man does model railroading and doesn't post about it, did he really model railroad? Just kidding, of course. I know that there's plenty of people who aren't quite as public with their modeling as I am, so don't want to sound too insensitive there. Maybe I need to use Dennis's tip here. Went down a Q-tip to move this decal around. It doesn't want to move with the X-Acto very easily. Okay, there we go. All right, now I gotta see if I can find a picture of the long hood of 85 here, though, just to make sure that it's got the, there we go. Just to make sure it's got the RRPX on the back side of it, which it does. Okay, and the standard nose logo. So we're good to basically replicate exactly what was on the other one here. All the scales, Garrett, yeah. Speaking of there being a whole bunch of people out there tonight, and certainly being appreciative of that, if any of you are new to the channel, do feel free to subscribe. Would be happy to have you along for the long haul, for sure. All right, that one's good. Let's get the RRPX on the back side of this. What time we got? We are at 8 o'clock. Dennis, what time are you starting tonight? I know we had discussed, Dennis and I, the possibility of him starting it a little earlier when I started at 7, but I'm not sure if he's going to be ready to go earlier than 9 or not. A little bit more tweaking on this nose logo to get it right. Okay, happy with that. Let's get some RRPX reporting marks on the back here. Maybe. Gotta get your stream put together. Okay, 9 for Dennis. Gotcha. All right. I do have one other thing I was thinking about doing tonight if I get these decals wrapped up in time. We shall see. Let's see. I'm gonna do the back here. Clean desk is a sign of a sick mind. Yeah, Rick, we know. Some of us have sick minds, though. Even people with chaotic desks sometimes have sick minds. think I'm pretty happy with that. Who installs N-scale ditch lights? Ooh, I have not dabbled in that yet. I keep trying to goat Dennis into doing it, but he hasn't gotten there yet. He's doing his first beacon. Yeah, Bowser's baffling to me. There's so many people clamoring for these Cartier units to be rerun in some capacity. And I think a lot of guys would, you know, just take Cartier in general, just so that they could rework it to whatever they want it to be. But I know Paul Ponarelli has been in contact with them, and they seem to not want to make it a priority, that's for sure. Which is a bummer. It's kind of funny too, because they keep doing everything else that the all these cool repaints that Delaware and Lackawanna's been doing. They announced that RS3 almost immediately after they put that in D&H, but do they want to do the patched out Delaware Lackawanna M636? Apparently not. Yeah, Ray, I get that feeling. You know, that's been a hesitation of mine with Fremo too. But it seems like there's, at least with Fremo, I haven't really met a ton of T-trackers, but it seems like the Fremo guys are all really looking out for each other a lot of times. Yeah, Verona Division Night. That's it's funny because I was actually in touch with Hobby Time wholesalers because they do exclusive runs through Atlas from time to time, and I had asked them about the possibility of doing some LANL stuff, and never really heard back from them. So I'm not sure, you know, what ended up happening there. They seemed very interested in it at first, and then didn't hear anything. It's a bummer too, because I mean, there's this great Facebook group going on now with a whole bunch of LANL modelers in it, and you can see that there's, you know, a demand for these locomotives, because everybody's looking, especially Winnie P 426, the ex-Chicago Beltway unit, is a needle in a haystack. Excuse me. Apologies. And everybody seems to be looking for that one, so it would be nice to see them, you know, acknowledge that there's demand for it. And I do happen to know, hopefully, maybe he's out there now, but I know that some people from Atlas watch my videos, so maybe they'll hear this and know that there's some good demand out there for LANL modelers and Winnie P modelers alike, especially with the Elcos going away. It seems like a lot of people have been getting more interested in modeling them just to kind of preserve the legacy sort of deal. So now I'm just getting a layer of microsol on all these decals. Pretty happy with all their locations. Oop, I got one more RRPX logo to put on. I missed. Atlas is on an NYS&W kick right now. They did just do 30-40, right? What else have they done recently? Maybe a caboose, I think I saw recently. Wait, what's going on here? Yeah, I'm grateful that Atlas has represented the Finger Lakes so well. That's been very cool, and you know, it's easy to you know, model the full Finger Lakes roster when they're all from one manufacturer, or they're all one, you know, locomotive and everything. We'll see. Maybe for the guys who want to do modern Finger Lakes, we can get them to do the Jeeps. I get asked all the time by people if I'm ever gonna do the Finger Lakes SD38s or the Jeeps, and I have to constantly remind people that they are not within my era. But no, they are cool, that's for sure. Especially the SD38s. Those are very funky though, and I actually have looked into doing those. If I ever got like a good enough deal on the base locomotives. But the thing with those is that they actually are an SD40-2 car body that was re-rated as an SD38, and they have a very funky dynamic brake hatch fan arrangement. So it's not as simple as just like modeling it. You've actually got to do a little bit of modification to get them going. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do the number boards themselves actually off camera because I need to do some high risk stuff. Garrett's got his own method of doing number boards. I've kind of got my own method of doing them, but it involves a lot of focus. So I'm not going to do those on camera, but we might do a little something more on camera tonight. I've been really itching to get into a little bit of scenery work on the main layout. I've got a kind of a goal in mind of having at least one major scenery project done before op around the clock in October. So I think I want to hopefully get a little bit of progress made on a few of these wireform trees that I built. And I just need to grab a little bit of Scenic Express tree material here. Okay. There's that. Ooh, shoulder just cracked. And then, oops. I've got 3 armatures ready to add material to here, I believe. Right? Not quite. I've got 2 ready to add material to. This one I still need to do a little bit of work on, which we can do that tonight as well. Just need to get my... Oh, where did I leave that? Need my Mod Podge. Can't remember what I did with it. I was using it all over the place. Let's see. I really don't know where I put it. I would have put it in here, but it's not in there. Interesting. Oh, it was on the workbench the whole time. Whoops. But anyway, yeah, we'll run into bonus coverage here. Let's get a little bit of work done on these. I just need to be able to hold on to this tree safely, so I'm going to take these paint test chips off of there. This one, maybe this is okay. Yeah, this will be fine. So, I guess I searched for that Mod Podge maybe for no reason. Just gonna get a little bit of Elaine's TurboTac glue out here. Hopefully I'm going to. I haven't used this in a while, so hopefully it's not dried out or anything. Oh boy. Yep, I'm a big fan of Mod Podge, Darren. I use Mod Podge for my ballast. I use it for gluing down cork, gluing down rail itself. Just about everything you can use Mod Podge for, I use it for. When in doubt, just unscrew the top. There we go. All right, so basically the name of the game now is going to be kind of building out the branch structure a little bit on these trees. I showed this tree off a couple of weeks ago on live stream, but this is kind of what the bark texture is going to look like on the trunks. This is modeling paste that I just took an old golf brush and kind of made the texture of the bark. Painted the whole thing with a Vallejo concrete gray and then went over the top of it with a dry brush light gray. And I'm really happy with how it looks. So at this point, I just need to kind of make these trees look a little bushier with some woodland scenic, or some Scenic Express tree materials, and then they'll be kind of ready for paint. Ready for paint, and then ready for wow, I'm very easily losing my train of thought tonight. They'll be ready for leaf material and then ready for the layout. So pretty straightforward stuff. Okay. You're gonna use plastic pellets and a heat gun for your ballast. Yeah, you'll probably achieve that look pretty easily like that, Darren, for sure. Oop. This is another one of those projects that's just kind of been pending on my list of projects on the shelf. This will be nice to get a little bit of progress made on these tonight, for sure, even if they don't get completely done. Yeah, Adam, we kind of got to a stopping point on the locomotives, but I didn't want to end the stream yet, so we're working on some trees. Like I said, I'm trying to get at least one major scenery project done on the main layout prior to the big ops weekend coming up in October. And I keep going back and forth, but I think the area I'm gonna do is Himrod. I've got some scenery that I did earlier this year, actually maybe at the end of 2024, that I'm really not happy with over there. So the first thing is gonna be actually tearing that out and redoing it, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to working on it. The other option would be over on the other side of that divider is Gang Mills, and Gang Mills could be done a lot quicker if I need it to be, and would probably be a lot simpler scenery-wise. It just involves ballasting a full yard, which is, not easy work. So that's kind of where I'm debating which is going to be the one to get done. Either way, I'm grateful and looking forward to finally being able to get back to doing some scenery on the main layout, because that's my favorite. This is my favorite part of the hobby right here, is doing scenery, doing these custom wire form trees, making organic scenes that replicate real life is just such a fun process to me. So finally being to a point where I can get back to that is good for me. Rob, hey buddy. Yes, trees. Happy little trees. This one's filling out really well. I'm pretty happy with this. I enjoy weathering too. Yeah, I enjoy weathering a lot. I just find it, I don't know. I think maybe the part that's most relaxing about scenery to me is that if I mess it up, it's not quite as unforgiving as weathering can be at times. Oh, come on. Yeah, Rob, I've seen Pete's trees. Pete's are fantastic. These, though, are kind of, I would argue, I can't mass produce these particular trees the way he does those, but they are ultimately, in my opinion, a finer detailed tree. But that's why they're also kind of go. The trees I'm making tonight are what I consider to be feature trees, which means that they go in prominent areas of the layout where they're kind of standalone. They don't don't coincide with any other trees. They're not in a forested area, or if they are, they're right on the edge of a forested area, so that they really stand out as a super well detailed tree. Oh, how he stores them? I don't know that I've seen how he stores them. I'm sure, I think for me is as soon as I make them, they're on the layout. So maybe at some point it'll make sense for me to store them. Don't get me wrong, I'm very interested to know how he stores them, because I'm sure it's very novel knowing him. Pete, by the way, Pete Darling, he is a Southern Pacific Donner Pass modeler, and I've officially gotten word now that he is going to be the Lakeshores Division's submission for NERX this year. So I will be filming a layout tour of Pete Darling's Donner Pass layout for NERX. Should be really exciting. He's also apparently going to be in Model Railroader very soon. He just had, I always draw a blank on the guy's name. One of their photographers that does a lot of work for them out to his layout. Oh, what's his name? Rob might know it. All right, we are progressing pretty nicely on this tree. Might have a couple more branches to put on, and then I need to let them dry before I do more. Yes, Lusassy was out. Yep. Yeah, so he'll be in Model Railroader very soon, I think. At some point. Yep, that about sums it up, Rick. But done, modeled incredibly well, that's for sure. Be careful here. I need to go to a different tree. Circle back to this one and let some of this stuff dry up before I add more structure to it. Maybe stay. Sweet. Okay, let me. What time we got? 8:30. Okay, we're still in good shape, honestly. I just need to get my other set of helping hands, which I think, yep, the long hood of 1703 is on that right now, so I just gotta pull that off. And then I'll set this tree to the side for now. I'll have to try to make sure that I keep you guys posted on the tree progress here over the next couple of days, because obviously I won't be able to paint any tonight, but if I actually play my cards right, I could probably just get two of these on the same set of helping hands, so that hopefully I can work on them both at the same time here. Yeah, these are some relatively good sized trees. I took in a absolutely fantastic clinic at the Northeast Region Convention that kind of, it was made by an arborist, or not an arborist, because that's the guys that cut down trees. I mean, he worked in forestry basically, so had a good understanding of what trees should look like what trees grew where and what height trees should be. And it was cool because it confirmed a lot of things that I had already been doing, but I learned a couple of new things as well, which was really neat, that I'm hoping to be able to put into practice in the coming days. Basically, one of the things that I need to do a little bit of research on is getting a better understanding of the deer population in the Finger Lakes, because if you go down towards Pennsylvania, apparently the deer are so prevalent down there that where a lot of trees in the Northeast just grow right to the forest, or right to the ground at the edge of the forest, down in Pennsylvania, you'll notice that there's a pretty consistent, blank opening at the edge of a forest from deer just eating everything that they can get their hand or get their mouths on. So I've got to check to see if that problem kind of is, well, it's not necessarily a problem, but I just have to check to see if that's something that happens in the Finger Lakes as well. And if that's the case, or if it's not the case, I'm actually got some work to do, because a lot of my trees don't reach the ground right on the edge of the forest. So I'll have to work on that. But it was also really cool to kind of get a better understanding of, what the height of trees should be and everything. And it seems like for the most part, I'm pretty much on par with the scale of trees and everything. There's certain ones, of course, that grow taller than others, but for the most part, it seems like I'm getting them to be just about the right height, which is pretty cool. Whoops. Oh man, yeah, I definitely would have bought those, Rob. Oh well. Can never have enough super trees. Like I said, these ones make great feature trees for like prominent areas, but super trees are what I make up the bulk of my forest with. It's kind of funny actually, because the guy who gave the clinic was like, yeah, puffball forests are really okay as long as you have the colors right and everything like that, and then you can use your super trees, in the towns and everything. And I was like, no, I use super trees for my forests, and then when I get to the towns, I build custom wire form trees and everything like that. He's like, oh wow, you're really dedicated. I said, yep, sure am. The dark purple leaves. That might be like a Norwegian maple, maybe. Andy, I had a Norwegian maple in my yard growing up as a kid. Has like deep maroon leaves year round. Actually, they're not that color year-round. I can't remember what color they turn in the fall. But they're that deep maroon all summer, basically. Oop, this beast does not want to participate. Come on, work with me here. maybe. Nice. Well, Southdown, it's your layout would be easy to do, like all custom wireform trees like this, honestly. Eventually, and maybe that day's coming sooner rather than later, but eventually I really do want to put out a full-on tutorial on how I do my trees. They're slightly influenced by Boomer. I utilized his sort of initial method of wireform, but after that they kind of take a little bit of divergence from that because he's doing a lot of pine trees and stuff like that and not a lot of hardwoods. But modeling the Northeast, of course, I need a ton of hardwoods. Yeah, boomerish. Yep. That's my method. Gotcha, Southdown. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, my layout is just, you know, the different parts of it are in various stages, is really what it comes down to. I'm sort of doing the one module at a time approach, but also not, because the layouts, you know, all the track work's done, all the bench work's done. I'm going back in and reworking track work that, you know, I discovered that I could do better at, that sort of thing. It's kind of a balance, you know. I've got some good scenes done. I'd like to have more good scenes done. So again, that's why the goal is to have at least one major scene completed by the end of October. So we'll see how it goes. Nope, does not want to stay there. Most modules at a time approach, yeah. Kinda, Rob, kinda. Gotcha, Tim. Yep, definitely depends on what you're modeling as to whether or not you're going to need a bunch of trees or not. Please stay there. Okay, I think it's gonna. Okay, I've got to try to fill in the top of this a little bit. Will my trees change color for the season? No. Nope. Definitely firmly implanted in modeling late fall. You know, lots of leaves just kind of falling off the trees on the ground, loose. You know, if you have seen some of the videos of Penyan, you'll see, you know, I was inspired by a photo I took with my drone in Penyan to literally just model a bunch of leaf litter in the right-of-way, which has gone pretty well. I was really nervous about that being an issue for cleaning track, which every time I clean track I do knock up a few leaves, but they still seem to stay down pretty well, which is great. So I'm happy about that. I seem to have managed to have filled this one in relatively well compared to that other tree that I was having trouble with. So I'm happy with a lot of this. Hopefully. Just need a few more layers, I think. You guys gotta yell at me when I start working off screen though. Did the same thing again today. Yeah, early spring, you know, really fun time to model. I've been, the reason I'm doing late fall is actually kind of because I was inspired by Mike Confalone doing that mud season, that super late winter, you know, just kind of as the snow's melting, sort of deal. Oh, this branch does not want to stay put anymore for some reason. Come on, man. Work with me here. Yeah, I'm always a little bit contrarian, so like when Mike Confalone does mud season, I was just like, oh, let's do late fall where, you know, there's frost in the air. It's, you know, I like to imagine it's a Sunday, there's football on. Thanks, Rob, for keeping me honest. Okay, so I think I'm happy with this one for now. I think I'm gonna try to just move it over to the other set of helping hands without doing much damage. Of course, I've already lost one branch, but okay, good there. And now I can safely work on this last one. This is the tallest of all of them. Maybe the most scraggly as well. Part of what I appreciated about that clinic, though, at the Northeast Regional Convention was learning about, you know, there's definitely some scraggly trees out there. They don't all have to have the full accoutrement of branches and stuff like that. So that was cool. I think I gotta get a couple more branches here. So let me do that. Yeah. There's a reason, Chris, that this is my work shirt now. I'm definitely a fair weather hockey fan. I'm diehard, live or die by the Mets and the Bills, but I can't bear to have another, live or die team. So I have to be a fair weather hockey fan because I just can't have another team constantly giving me heartache. Love watching hockey when the Sabres are good, but if they're not good, probably not going to watch. Yeah, that's awesome, Dennis. Early fall is such a great time to model too. Like we were talking about, on the Conway. Oh, by the way, Dennis and I don't know if I talked about it last stream, but Dennis and I had the opportunity to ride the Conway Scenic while we were at the Northeast Region Convention, and boy, was that a blast. But, we had a little bit of a conversation relating to, early fall because the leaves were, kind of down towards the station, just starting to turn, and then getting a little closer to peak up, the further up the mountain division you went. But, we had a conversation about how he wanted to model early fall, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of a lot harder than you think it is, because a lot of guys, they'll just do this like super big contrast between like super green trees and then, just fully, fully changed trees. And that's just not like what happens. Excuse me. So to be able to model like a transition period like that, it's a little bit more challenging than you would think, and it's worth going out this time of year to take reference photos of the places that you want to model if this is the time you want to model it. Just the same as for me, I usually go out mid-October, closer to peak. Honestly, I should go out a little bit later because I want to model past peak. But I always make sure to get out to the Finger Lakes at least once during that time frame to get some reference photos, to get some fresh inspiration, that sort of thing. And that's what led me to, the right-of-way in Penyan. That's kind of what led me to model it the way that I did and that sort of thing. Maybe challenge is the wrong word. Maybe it's not a challenge as much as it is just, if you're paying attention, it's easy. You just got to make sure you're paying attention to what's out there. Which Dennis, Dennis pays attention to what's out there. But what I'm getting at is I've come across a few guys on YouTube who are doing like early fall, and they just, a lot of them have like fully green trees, and then boom, one bright orange tree, and it's like, no, that's not what that looks like. They transition from green to colored. So you got to kind of be able to model the transition if you want to do early fall and that sort of thing, which I have full faith that Dennis is able to do. Yes, nuanced. Yep, perfect. And it's funny that I'm talking like this because it's something that I learned firsthand. because there's still parts of my layout that I need to go back and redo because there's just way too much kind of crazy color. There's kind of some springy looking flowers mixed in with some fall looking flowers, and some very green trees mixed in with some very, very vibrant trees as well. So there's some stuff that needs to be redone in Penn specifically, because that was, you know, my first foray into scenery. So lots to get done. But anyway, guys, Dennis starts in 3 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up now, and we'll get you over to Dennis's stream. Hopefully he can post a link below. If not, Garrett can. But we'll get you guys wrapped up, sent over to Dennis. I'll keep working on these trees for a couple minutes off camera here, get this one wrapped up, and then, like I said, I'll keep you posted via the Facebook page probably throughout the next couple of weeks on the progress on these. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.